Welcome back, Shalligators. It's a new year and we are starting it off right. We got some new music, we got some new thoughts, and we are focusing today on manifestation, goal setting, and creating healthy habits. So the last video we did last year, don't you hate people who make those jokes? See you next year. I'm that person, I do those jokes. About how to leave behind 2020. And I didn't want to focus on just how to leave behind the grief and the trauma, but also I want to focus on how to hold on to healthy habits you have created that maybe you aren't even aware of. For me, one habit I've created is facing fear. Like, I moved to a whole new town, and things that heretofore, priorly a year ago, I would have been like, oh, I can't just abandon my friends. I can't make new friends. No, yes, I can. I have become habitually emboldened to tell myself the best case scenario is at work rather than the worst case scenario. I also do something realistic. I make my bed every day. And after I did that video, I kept looking around. I was like, well, what else? What else are my habits? And then I realized, you know what? Your habit is surviving. Your habit is being gritty and moving through a really difficult year with your head held high. And if you're watching this video, you didn't just move through that year. You are ready to make this next year super successful, however you choose to define success. And if all you define success as is just keeping on, good. That's valid and worthy and whole, and we are here for you. But by the end of this video, I have a feeling I will convince you guys to dream bigger than you ever thought possible. So I'm going to share some science-backed tricks on how to create new healthy habits, and some not so scientifically, but a little bit more cerebral, existential ways to dream bigger, manifest better, and share what I call my ladders of manifestation, which is truly my go-to way of manifesting and creating the confidence I need to manifest whatever I want in my life. But before we get started, if you would like a pep talk from me, a little video shout out, head on over to cameo.com. If you have a longer question, a more detailed thing that you would like, head to my website, shallonlester.com, and click get some help, get some advice. You can also shop some merch and some jewelry over there. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram at shallonxo. I asked you guys yesterday, hey, what habits did you create in 2020? And what are you looking to create in 2021? A lot of the stuff that came up for what you guys have been doing in 2020 were like micro movements, and not micro to diminish anything, but it wasn't like I started law school, I wrote a book, I colonized life on Jupiter. It was, I work out 15 minutes a day. I also make my bed every day. I read one book a month. I drink more water. I put up boundaries. Things that at the beginning of 2020, if you had made these as your New Year's resolutions, you'd probably be like, ugh, pathetic. Drink more water. But this was a difficult year. And you had those goals. You had these habits that you're proud of because they actually did make a difference. You're going to hear some conflicting statements in this video. On one hand, I'm going to tell you, yes, hold on to those micro movements, the little things, the drinking the water, the making your bed, the folding your clothes as soon as it gets out of the dryer. Never happened for me. I've gotten worse at that. But I'm also going to tell you to dream big. So you're going to hear me say some conflicting things in this video. On one hand, I'm going to talk about setting small, manageable goals, right? But then, the last half of this video, we're going to talk about setting crazy bananas impossible goals. Crazy bananas one. And you're going to be like, well, wait a minute, should I be doing something realistic or should I be dreaming big? Both, and we will explain why. By the end of this video, your new catchphrase is going to be, my dreams are not special. My goals are not special. My habits are not special. What? Excuse me? Yes. And you will love this phrase and you will latch onto it and it will give you comfort and it will honestly be the thing that propels you to success. But we'll get there. So let's talk about how to set actionable goals and habits. How do we just fucking achieve things, right? Okay. So my goals for 2021, I want to release a book. I want to start a radio show. I want to drop 10 pounds at least, and I want to learn to do the splits. Every year, the splits is on every year. The splits are such a metric of good health. You know, flexible people are healthy people. They really are. And I am actually very flexible. I'm not that healthy, but I've just always been extremely flexible and I'm really, really close to the splits. But it's not to the point where I could just pop down in them at a party, and so sadly, that is actually my goal. It's like, Shallon can do the splits. Do it. No, don't make me do it. Do it. Okay. And just get down in it. So as I've said before, and as we all know, big achievements are comprised of small little micro decisions. You want to lose weight. You're not like, I'm losing weight. You're like, okay, breakfast, lunch, dinner, I'm making good choices. Don't need the bread basket, not getting the pancakes. Okay. It's micro decisions that add up to large decisions. You want to go to law school? All right, that means you're going to have to stay up and miss that party and do whatever and study for this test. It's going to get you that grade so you can apply. We know this, and we don't want to think it. We don't want to think, oh, it doesn't matter if I buy these stupid leggings. I have 10,000 pairs of leggings, even though I want to buy a house or whatever it might be. Surely this decision won't matter. Surely it will. Surely it will. And that's the gift and the curse, because that means we are actually in control of where our life goes. Ugh. And that everything we do actually does matter. Ugh. And there truly is very little neutrality we can exercise over our own life. Bah! That means what? Every decision we make has to be a good one? Yes. Yes. Every decision we do make has to be a good one. It doesn't mean that if we make a bad one, it negates all of our good ones. Every step in the right direction is a step away from the wrong direction. And if you take 20 steps in the right direction and even if you take 4 back, you're still farther than you would have been had you only taken bad steps, right? So that's okay. But I want our goal is to, and this is from a book called Atomic Habits. And I think if you go to the Shalligator Reddit thread, you can find a free download of this. But basically the book is about casting votes for who you want to be or who you don't want to be. And every decision you make, every action, like for me, you know, my big Achilles heel is always my weight. And I want to get back to a place where I feel good about my weight. And so every meal, I'm casting a vote for healthy, thin Shallon or for unhealthy, jiggly Shallon, who's miserable and can't wear any of her clothes and she just hates herself. So when you think of it like that, if you're like, oh, I'm going to order these pancakes and ma'am, oh, can you come back? I would also like to cast a vote for gross Shallon. Can you just write that? Can you write that on the ticket? Because that's what I'm doing. If we have to actually confront that and to say that to ourselves, well, suddenly those pancakes don't sound so good. They sound so good, but not as good. So I'm like, well, you know what sounds better? All right, that salad sounds kind of lame, but casting that vote for good me, that feels good. This has been a really difficult last year, obviously. It's been a difficult few years having that orange garbage bag in the office. Don't we deserve to feel good? I do. You do. And so let's cast some votes for feeling good. So how do we make these goals happen, right? How do we stick to resolutions? Well, I get really overwhelmed at thinking I'm going to have to pick up a habit and do it until December of next year. It just seems overwhelming. I'm like, especially when we consider 2020, it's like when 2020 started, we had no idea that it was going to end up where it did. And so we're like very gun shy. We all have this sort of collective emotional PTSD of like, well, I can't set a goal. I don't know what's going to happen to the country. I get that. So let's set goals just for January. Just for January, right? So as you guys know, as I've talked about, my Achilles heel is always my weight. And I'm not fat, and I'm not saying anyone who is my size is fat, but I know where I feel good and I know where I feel bad, and I feel very bad right now. Like I can feel the back fat on my bra. This is not where my body's happy. So for all intents and purposes for this video, I'm going to use my weight and dieting and being healthy as just sort of the example, right? So if I tell myself I have to be keto for the rest of the year, no birthday cake, no Mai Tais on the beach in August, like nope, no Christmas cookies, nope, I have to be keto forever. I'm like, I can't do it. And I already tell myself, you can't do it. You're not going to do it. You're such a failure. Why even try? Therefore, why even try to do these other goals? Why even try to do anything? Just go back to bed, right? But if I tell myself, can I do it for January? Yes. Yes, I can. Okay. So if you can't get your head around your goals for the whole year, let's just focus on January. And if January even seems too long, let's just focus on the first half of January. Let's focus on like Martin Luther King holiday or President's Day or whatever works for you in a way that is, we'll explain this later, part of a ladder, right? So put that definition aside, but what you can get your head around right now. So I read this article in Real Simple magazine, and it was actually written by Jen Sincero. And you guys might recognize her name. She wrote the book like You Are a Badass, You're a Badass at Making Money. And she has a new one called Badass Habits. And I actually gave it to my mom for Christmas. And I sent her this article before I realized Jen Sincero had written it. And it's sort of like a Cliff Notes version of her book, Badass Habits. But it's called How to Make Your New Year's Resolutions Stick. Step 1, don't call them resolutions. Okay. So I'm going to kind of like cannibalize this for you, and we're going to discuss it as we go along. So her number 1 point is develop a mightier mantra. You already use mantras all the time, whether you realize it or not. I can't lose this pregnancy weight. I hate my ears. I always date crazy people. You have already created the reality in which you exist via the thoughts, habits, and actions you repeated over and over throughout of your life. This is so true. And I think that this is especially true with weight. It's like, I've said before, like, I don't think I'm ugly. I do think I'm fat. I don't think I'm lazy. I think I'm incapable of staying on a diet. I can write 2 books. I can write 5 books in a year. Can I stay on keto for a month? No, I'm just a loser like that. I can't do it. Who is telling me this besides me? Nobody. Nobody thinks that. Nobody thinks Shallon is lazy. Nobody thinks Shallon's stupid. Like, I am the one foisting these tape loops on myself, and nobody with negative tape loops gets positive outcomes. Nobody. It simply doesn't work like that. And you can look at shitty people and evil people and whatever and be like, well, they actually don't have negative tape loops. They have very positive tape loops. Of course I'm going to run Enron. Of course I'm going to invade Iraq. Of course I'm going to win the presidency. They believe it and they achieve it. Whether they should or not, that's a different story. But this is the foundation of manifestation. Ask, believe, receive, right? And we've talked about manifestation before. What's the hardest part? It's the believe, isn't it? And part of the believe is those negative tape loops. And we talk about manifestation, we compare it a lot to sitting at a restaurant and ordering it. The restaurant of the universe. If you don't ask for anything, nothing comes. Nothing comes. You can sit at a restaurant for 6 hours. They're not just going to bring you anything. And if they do, it's probably not going to be what you ideally want to eat. And if you do order, I will have a steak salad. Are you like, oh my God, they're never going to bring it. They're not going to make it. Why would they make it for me? No, you're not in this spiral about the possibility of it happening. You're just like, yeah, no, they're going to bring it. I don't need to go to the kitchen and harass the line cooks. It'll come, right? We don't treat our daily life like that. We don't treat our goals like that. Oh, I can never do that. That's not me. I date crazy people. I'm unlovable. I'm too lazy to stick to a diet and exercise. I can't do this. Why are you saying that to yourself? Truly get into some therapy, because this is not something I can unravel for you in one video. And it's not anything that can bubble up maybe within 5 minutes, but it is something a therapist can really, really help you with. One of the reasons I keep myself sick in terms of like what I consider being fat is because, and this is what a therapist has helped me dismantle. It's like, because I equate happiness with boredom, and boredom to me is death. Death. So if I can always have this sort of little thing that I'm picking on, this little micro unhappiness, but it isn't micro, it's quite macro at this point, then I have something to blame my existential misery on. If I were to be my perfect healthy weight and feel good about my body, and my life wasn't still perfect. Wait, what? Huh? Then what would I blame my unhappiness on? But that's how I used to think. Now I really have remade my life. I used to blame my unhappy, I wanted to be unhappy, so I had something to blame all my misery on because I wasn't happy in my career. I wasn't happy in my relationships. That's not me now. And I look at that and I'm like, you are not that person who's afraid of being happy anymore. You're not the person who's afraid of being stable. That's not you anymore. That was 2016 you. That's not 2021 Shallon. So get your shit together. I'm like, oh, all right. I gave myself a talking to. So I want you to look at the mantras, and if you have to do it, write them down, say them out loud, and then ask yourself, would I ever say this to my best friend? Would I say this to my mom, my sister? Would I say this to a stranger? Hey, did you order that salad? You know what? It's funny. You're fat and you're just like gonna be fat. So why even bother? Never. I mean, you get cracked in the fucking jaw if you say that. So like, why are you saying it to yourself? Moving on. Anticipate your distractions. Get your notebook. Think about a habit you're trying to form. Write down everything you can think of, screwing around on Twitter, suddenly making a lasagna, brushing the dog, I love her, that might block your ability to participate. Please also make a list of the people in your life who may be too partylicious to be around while you give up drinking, too pessimistic to hang out with while you do your part to help end world hunger, too chatty to talk with while you quit gossiping, and make a point to limit your time with them. When I asked you guys about the habits you formed in 2020, I saw a lot about your real estate, both like I kept my house clean, I folded my laundry because we're spending more time in our houses, and we realize how a cluttered house creates a cluttered mind, creates a cluttered heart, and a cluttered life. I heard a lot about micro movements. I work out 15 minutes a day. I do something vaguely resembling yoga. I stretch. I get more sleep. I drink more water. Those seem minor, but they're not, because they create a foundation of higher things. The latter, we'll get to that. And I also heard a lot about boundaries, fence building, not just the habits you took out of 2020, but what you want out of 2021. I want to cut toxic people out. I have cut toxic people out. We have spent so much time alone this year that we have leaned into our solitude and we have confronted it. I can't be alone. I can't miss these parties. Bitch, you are. So what happened when we did that? Yeah, there was some anxiety for sure. There was a lot of grieving, a lot of unhappiness. But then that kind of died away, didn't it? And there was a certain struggle and a certain relief. There was, I don't like this, but it's happening, so okay. We are women of action. We're not wallowers, not for long anyway. We're not victims. So we were like, all right, fuck, dude, all right, I'm by myself. Maybe I could download some books and start reading. Maybe I'm finally going to clean out that linen closet. Maybe I'm going to start this project that I've always wanted to. We grieved, we did it, and then we moved forward. And so therefore, we looked around at people in our life who were not serving us, who were toxic, who were draining, and we're like, no, I am now happy in my real estate. And a few days ago, we did a video on time management, right? And I said, you need to write down, truly make a log of your time. Because like I said, you might think you're on Instagram 10 minutes. Actually, it's 35. You didn't know that. So look at those distractions and plan. And because we're not doing ourselves any favors if we get super pessimistic, I'm never going to achieve this. Or if we swing wildly to the other side, be like, of course, I'll never eat sugar again. Of course. And we forget, it's so-and-so's birthday party on Saturday. And wait, actually, like every time we're PMSing, we got to have that chocolate or somebody's going to die. Okay, plan around that. Come up with a contingency plan or some elasticity. Like, I'm going to let myself have some chocolate cake at Kristen's birthday party. It's fine, right? I'm not going to log that as a failure. I'm going to prepare for that as a necessary correction, a necessary movement of these goals. I'm going to keep on moving forward. If you talk to any successful person, whether they've built a rocket ship or built a house or built a brand, the road to success is not this. It's all over the place, right? There's 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, but they keep moving forward. And they employ what we talked about in the last video, emotional elasticity, grittiness, low neuroticism, high ability to roll with the punches. And that doesn't just mean the punches of the world and the pandemics and the different presidents. Those are our own punches. I can roll with my punches now. It's like, you know what? If I didn't outline this chapter of the book today, you know what? I'm okay. I'm not a failure. I'm not like, I'll never do this. I'm throwing it away. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to rest when I need to rest. I'm going to get up tomorrow and be like, I'm going to try again. I'm gritty. Success is not, I never got knocked down. Never made a misstep. Successful people get knocked down and they get the fuck back up again. Okay? This, number 3, is my favorite point. Decide to believe. Commit to change and conviction will follow. Some experts believe that in order to stick with a habit, we have to have faith in our ability to change. We humans decide to believe in stuff all the time with little or no proof that it's real. We decide to believe in a God. We decided we believed we could go to the moon. Belief is a muscle. And when you're changing a stubborn old habit and really stretching yourself, a hell-bent decision is the perfect personal trainer to get your belief in shape. You're back at that restaurant. You're ordering that food. You have been conditioned to believe that you go to a restaurant, you order something and it's going to come. It's not even a muscle you have to flex anymore. It's, I'm going to get it. What if we allowed ourselves to believe that in our own life? Well, I want it, so it's going to happen. People ask me, how did you make it in New York? And I know I need to do this video. And a lot of it just came down to, I just believed I could. I didn't know any better. I moved to New York. I would say I didn't even know what I didn't know when I moved there. I was like 22, 23 and I'm like, of course I'm going to get a book deal. Of course I'm going to be an editor. Of course I'm going to be a celebrity. Of course I'm going to get at this. What, like it's hard? I was Elle Woods and I just believed it. I just have this belief that good things happen to me. And they do. I have a belief that people are going to like me. And so therefore, I'm not afraid to go out and make friends. Because if people don't like me, my fundamental reaction is, that's a you problem. I met somebody the other day and she didn't like me. And I was like, that's weird. Anyway, and I didn't give it a second thought. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I didn't fucking like her. That's irrelevant. But I was just like, that's weird because everyone likes me. And some people would probably be like, no, they don't. There's millions of hate videos about me. I'm like, sounds like a you problem. I like me. And I just believe that I'm likable. So crazy. And that gives me the confidence to go on. There's other things though that I don't believe, that these are muscles I have to flex. I'm not like the workout girl. I'm not like the hard body girl. I'm not like the girl's gonna like post her workouts and like no days. I'm not that girl. But you're goddamn right you're not. No, you're not. And that's why you feel fat and that's why you feel miserable, because you believe that that is actually who you are. I have never thought I was ugly. I've never thought I was lazy. I have always believed I was fat. And so I have kept myself creating that reality. Let's keep it going. Write it down in all caps. Write down the habit you're going to work on in a notebook. Once you focus on and embody it, it'll become just a part of who you are and nothing special. And then, because we're all creatures in a constant state of transformation, you'll shift your attention to some newer, fresher habit, and you'll have the confidence, know-how, and tools to make yours as well. To make it yours as well. So, did something stand out to you in that? What? Let's go back. Okay. Once you focus on embody it, it'll become part of who you are and nothing special. And nothing special? Wait. What? Wait a minute. Are we getting to where Shallon said my dreams are nothing special? Yeah, we are, girl. This is where we are. When I read that a few days ago, my mind was blown. Blown. And it was such a simple thing. She slipped in, it's nothing special. But I realized that was a huge issue, a huge roadblock in my manifestation, in me creating new habits and changing my life. I viewed all of these new habits, working out every day, eating healthy, as special. That's so special. It's special that I'm going to work out every day, even 15 minutes a day. I bought the mirror, that workout. This isn't an ad. I fucking paid for it. But they have 15-minute workouts, And I'm like, I'm going to work out. I'm going to do 15 minutes every day. Who can't? But this is the thing. What is something that's special? Like, how do we define something that's special? It's rare. Maybe it's fleeting. And not everyone gets to have it. That's how we define specialness, basically. So when you apply the word or the concept of specialness to your goals, I'm going to study, I'm going to meditate. That's so special, right? You're saying to yourself, without even realizing it, this is fleeting. This is going to be kind of rare in my life. And not everyone's going to get to have it. Namely me. This is going to be something for other people. This is special for me. Blah, blah, blah. You're setting yourself up for failure without even realizing it. So her saying your habits are nothing special, mind-blowing concept to me. Mind-blowing concept. Because when I look at it that way, I was like, wait a minute. So it's not like, I worked out today, where's my parade? This is just what I do from 8:30 to 8:45. I turn on the mirror, I do a quick Pilates thing, and that's just simply what I do. It's not special, it's just part of my life. Then I look at the habits I have created. Making my bed every day. Do I call my mom like, do you know what I did? I made my bed. She'd be like, stop calling me. I'm blocking your number. Stop it. I don't want to hear this every day. But I don't say that because it's not special to me. It's simply what I do. I get up, I take my shower, I put on my body oil, and that's when I make my bed, when my body oil is dry. And that's just like what I do. It's not a thing. And that is how it became a habit. Why? There's a thought process that has to bridge between special and unspecial therefore is a habit. Belief. It's belief. It goes back to that other point. I make my bed every day, and it's kind of a chicken and the egg thing because it isn't special. And so because I don't count it as special, I don't have this resistance against it. It doesn't have an emotional value. There is no tape loop of Shallon, you're not the bed making kind. It's just, I don't know, this is what I do. It doesn't have an emotional weight to it. Working out, being thin, being healthy like that, oh, it absolutely does. So what I want you to do is create more of these unspecial bed-making habits, right? And it creates this self-fulfilling prophecy of unspecial, belief-based change, and therefore habits. So if you don't know where to begin with stuff like that. Begin with making your bed. Begin with folding your laundry. Begin with picking up the dog poop right when he goes instead of letting it all pile up in the backyard. And then the other bigger things you annex in are just gonna be like, well, I mean, I just go to the gym after work. That's just where I go. I mean, instead of watching TV, I go upstairs and I work a Etsy store. That's just what I do. Yeah, I mean, instead of scrolling Instagram, I pick up my iPad and I read my book. That's just, it's not special. It's just what I do. Your goals aren't special. They are simply the fabric of who you now are. And when you run up against these negative tape loops, I'm not the bed making kind. No, I'm not the workout girl. You shut that shit down right away. And I want you to say out loud, because speaking things out loud has an impact. I want you to say out loud, I make my bed every day. I work out 15 minutes a day. Act like it's in a conversation. How'd you get that great body? I don't know. I work out only 15 minutes a day, but it makes a big difference. You know, if you do it every day, it adds up. Retrain your mind. Mark each day that you show up. You know what's immediately satisfying? Jen Sincero writes, tracking your habits. While you may not see the actual results of the actions you take every day, you will see how many days you've stayed on course with the new habit, which is a huge accomplishment in and of itself. Each time you successfully participate in your habit, walk 3 miles, not say one snarky thing to your mother. Mark that day on a calendar. Use something ceremonial like a special pen or a gold star sticker. The simple task of acknowledging a job well done is very satisfying, and being able to look back over the days and weeks and months of successfully doing what you promised yourself you would do is even better. So when I am successful at keto, I have, like, I make this little grid. And it's ceremonial is precisely the right word. I go down to Michael's, I pick out the paper I want to make it on, it's like shiny, and I like draw it up, like breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, and then I buy my special stickers. And I get myself a sticker for every little meal, every snack, and I look at it, I'm like, yes. And when I'm ordering at a restaurant, I think, I'm like, I really want to use that llama sticker. I really want to use that llama sticker. I'll have a salad, thank you. And I make a better decision, right? Number 6, book it. Put something in place that will hold you accountable for sticking with your habit. Okay, so this is easy. Like, if you have a vacation coming up, hey, March 25th, I'm going to be on the Bahamas. I'm going to look good. I'm going to get in that bikini. And what I do, I make a really, because it's easy to talk yourself out. It's like, I'm sure no one else at the resort will have like ever worked out ever. That's not true. Or you know what? I don't remember what my swimsuit looks like, but I'm sure I'll fit into it. I get those fucking things out and I literally will hang them around my house. People come over, they're like, why are there bikinis taped to the fridge? I'm like, because I need a representation of my goal to look at all the time so that I can't talk myself out of what I want to do and into bad habits. I'm just not going to do that. Okay, last but not least, develop new habits 20 minutes at a time. Take a moment to think about your habit and come up with a way to shrink it into a tiny bite-sized task. Adopting new habits can seem daunting, especially if you're shifting away of being that you've been participating in for the majority of your life. This is why the practice of taking things one day at a time, for 20 minutes at a time, is so liberating. It removes the drama of forever. Girl, we covered this earlier. And it allows us to more softly put aside old ways. It also allows us to step back and practice imperfection, process, and patience by acknowledging that change takes time. So those are ways, actionable ways to change. But remember how I said earlier, we're going to talk about the small little things, but we're also going to talk about huge shifts. Crazy, impossible dreams. Now, I asked you guys on my Instagram in preparation for this video to listen to this Joel Osteen podcast. It was called The Open Windows of Heaven. I recently realized that was the wrong podcast. So dumb. I mean, it's great. And it has like a truly, truly tremendous message. And I had just listened to it. But the one I actually wanted you to listen to, and I'm going to link all of these things down below, is called Praying God-Sized Prayers. Now, I need to say here, if you have a problem with Joel Osteen, girl, get the fuck over it. I'm not asking you to be a Christian, to give to his church, to even like him as a person. I'm asking you to try to get something from a message that could actually enrich your life. I personally, this was going to come as a surprise to you, I am neither a tortoise nor a hare. I know. And yet, I was able to get something from that fable, right? Because I'm not an idiot. I can get something from an imam, from a preacher, from Kylie Jenner, from a story about a friend, from a bumper sticker. If we're smart and if we're dedicated to changing our life, we are willing to take in data and improvement data from any source and not attach a value to it. And so this was on like the radio, the Sirius station, and it was Praying God-Sized Prayers. And he's done, this has kind of been his new focus in dreaming bigger. And I think it's so astute because truly in this last year, like I said, we're all just scared of our own shadow. Like the concept of asking for something huge is insane. We don't even feel comfortable asking the universe for something small. Hey, I just want to be able to go to a party. Hey, I would love to go to Target and not suffocate under my mask. Little things seem so difficult. Who are we? The audacity to ask for a book deal, law school, the perfect husband, a new baby. How dare we? Exactly. Joel and Barack Obama are not so different. And like I said at the beginning, the prosperity gospel, manifestation, higher thoughts, creating good habits, it all, you can dress it up in whatever terms you want. It circles back to the exact same concepts. Dreaming big and believing for it. Why am I bringing up Barack? What was the name of his first book? The Audacity of Hope. And I never really understood what that meant, until I read it. And it was exactly this, like to ask for something huge out of life seems audacious. It seems insulting. How dare you? But that is the only way incredible things happen. We got to ask for it. And that's what Joel Osteen says. And, he cites Bible verses. And I like it because he's very semantic. Like he'll take just a phrase that you would read in the Bible and be like, okay. But he's like, no. That was worded like that for a reason. Ask me and you shall receive nations. He's like, the key word there is ask. You got to ask. God will give it to you, but you have to ask. Like she is up there waiting. It's like, stop asking me for tiny things. Ask me for great big things. I am the most high God. And whether or not you believe in Christianity or whatever, if you were watching this, you're probably believing in some sort of higher power, the universe, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Whatever feels good in your heart. But I'm like, okay, I endeavor to be not just good and strong and create these healthy habits, on things that are smaller. I endeavor to be brave enough, to be audacious enough to ask for the big stuff. A huge new house. Happy relationship. True love. I just want a relationship. I want true love. I want abs. And I don't just want to be able to do the splits one way. I want to be able to do them both ways. 2 types of splits. Yes, these are big asks. But our God is big too. Our universe is big. Our fate is big. Whatever it is, that is big too. We are the ones limiting ourselves. And the people who have achieved enormous things in this world, like I was saying about me going to New York, they simply believed that they could. It was like maybe a concept that they couldn't, but they're like, no, I was meant to be an Oscar winner. I was meant to run a Fortune 500 company. I was meant to have true love. Of course I was going to have true love. Of course. It's just me. That's me. What can we ask for that's huge? And I would like you guys to put it down here in the comments. But remember how I was talking about ladders? So the problem with asking for something big is that we don't organically believe it's possible. Okay, let's think of something really big. Like I want to be a barrel racing champion this year. Doesn't have to be a national champion, but I want to win a barrel racing competition. I don't know a lot of people who enter barrel racing in their 30s, but I'm going to be one of them. Am I going to be someone who gets a hip replacement 6 months later? Anyway, that seems crazy. And I tell it to people and they're like, good for you. I don't care. Everything I've ever achieved has been a bless your heart scenario. Books, TV, this YouTube channel, fandom, anything seems audacious to ask for. So that's my top of the heap. I want to be a barrel champ. Okay. That's hard for me to get my head around. Like, I haven't ridden in a few weeks. I don't have a horse. I don't know anything. I don't even know how to transport a horse. I don't have my own saddle and tack. Like, it seems overwhelming. Shallon, there's no way you can do that. Okay. Here is where we bring the concept of ladders. And this is sort of my own term that I've come up with. A manifestational ladder is a ranking system from the absolute craziest, most audacious, biggest impossible ask to what I call parking lot manifestation. Something that you can get your head around no matter your mood, no matter what's going on in your life. You're like, I can conceptualize and believe that will happen for me. And for me, it's, I will find a good parking space. I just do. I believe I'm the girl who just always finds a good parking space. Don't worry, guys. I'll circle the block one more time. We're going to get a great space. I simply believe this about my life. I don't know why, but I do. And it always turns out. It always turns out. Because for me, considering the opposite, I'm going to park at the other side of the arena. I'm going to have to park all the way across the street from Target. It's inconceivable to me. That seems way less likely than me just manifesting, this Durango's pulling out, I'm getting this space. Why are we talking about this? Because when I have at the top of my ladder being a barrel racing champion, and I am just in an emotional place where I'm like, that's so stupid. That's so stupid. You are never going to achieve that. I back away from that feeling. I don't chase that feeling of failure and oppression and shrinking. I don't chase that at all. I want to disconnect from that feeling and not make it my reality in the routine, right? So on this ladder, I put a lot of different things between barrel champ and finding a parking space at Target. Okay, what's something big that's right below being a barrel champ? Releasing a new book this year, right? I know I can do that. I've written 2. I know how to do it. I know my work ethic. Okay, but still, sometimes you're like, I just don't know how I'm going to find the time. Okay. But I can get my head around that more than I can the barrel thing. Then there's something below that. I'm going to keep my closet very organized. Okay, yeah, I'm going to keep my closet. I'm going to keep my house clean. And then there's something below that. I'm going to pay all my bills on time. However you want to rank your ladder, great. But have a ladder and write it down. And actually, I would love if you guys could share your manifestational ladders. Go to the maybe the Shalligator Reddit page, because you can like upload like a picture and like write your ladder and share what it is with other people. So we do this because when we are trying to believe for that big thing and our mind, we just can't get there. All right, okay, well, I'm going to go down one rung. Can I believe that I'll release a book this year? No, I can't. Okay, can I believe I'm going to keep my closet organized? Okay, yeah, I can. Okay, let's think about that. Let's really latch on to that. I'm a closet organizer. I can do this. Okay, now I feel a little bit emboldened. I feel confident. I'm going to move one back up. Can I release a book this year? Yes. So I'm not going to watch TV tonight. I'm going to outline a chapter. Okay, great. Can I be a barrel champ? No. All right, we go back down. We go up and down this ladder according to what we can believe. And some days we're going to be on parking lot level. That's all right. I'm going to go out and manifest that parking space. All right. Now we're going to move up, and you know what? We're going to clean off our desk. We're going to pay all our bills. Okay, now we're going to move up, back down and back up as we need to in order to cultivate the thing that is crucial, no matter what your religion, your philosophy, your school of thought, to achievement. Belief. Ask, believe, receive. There is a difficulty in the boldness of asking, the audacity of that hope, right? We talked about that. Now we've tackled the belief. How do we cultivate and create that belief? It's the ladder. It's the manifestational ladder. And then the only thing left to do is sit back and let the universe, God, Jesus, Yahweh, whoever it might be, bring these blessings into your life. I want to know what you guys are believing for and manifesting. I want to know what you've done in the last year that you want to keep up. I want to know, call it out and claim it. What seems crazy and impossible? I guarantee you it's not. But we're going to share it. We're going to do this together. I've got some challenges that I'm cooking up. And like I said, if doing something for the whole year seems daunting, let's just do it for January. Let's do it for 2 weeks. Let's do it for 1 week. Let's do it for 1 day. That can be a manifestational ladder in and of itself. That's all right. That's all right. If you're like, I can only eat keto maybe the rest of the day. Great. That's great. Good for you. Then tomorrow we're going to go further up that ladder until we're all the way at the top. I'll see you later, Shalligators. I'm so excited to see what this year brings.